let's start with the first question. You're actually on your first tour with Ice Dirt.
Yeah.
So, how is it going?
It's going great. Crowds are awesome. The fans are really accepting me as the new vocalist for Ice Dirt. I'm giving my passion and my heart and soul every night on the stage, and that's what the fans expect. And so it's been a fun tour. It's been really good so far, and I'm looking forward to more shows.
Mm-hmm. And when was the best show so far?
Well, I mean,
if you can choose one.
Right, if I can choose one, the Athens shows were really great because just seems like the Grease fans really get the band, and they've really embraced it, and they came out. They were standing on top of each other. It was crazy. So very good. Lyon was really fun, but definitely the Grease shows have been pretty much the best so far.
I think that when it comes to Ice Dirt definitely is one of the most popular bands when it comes to metal in Greece.
Sure, yeah, definitely.
And have you filmed some shows from the tour? And maybe to put one day on some CD or on bonus DVD, for example.
We're filming every night, every single show.
Yes.
We film the shows and we record the audio. So John will keep it all as archives, and then we can just sort through it. And maybe one day there'll be a DVD made. I know eventually, maybe on the second album, we're going to do another live DVD kind of thing, but I'm not too sure when that's going to happen. But there's a lot of plans. It's good to record each show because we like to watch it, and it's like watching a playbook for like a sports team. You got to watch your shows and make sure that you're doing the best job possible. Maybe you're not doing something right, and you can see that. You don't notice it at the time. So watching the shows is very important to get the show down into a good routine.
Mm-hmm. Since you have done already some shows with Ice Dirt so far, and I think that this is maybe the biggest tour of you, is it hard because of the vocals to perform each night? If you get what I mean. Yeah,
no, it's challenging. But I'm not losing my voice or anything like that. I feel as though I'm getting stronger. I have to warm up a little bit more every day. Of course, there's a routine I go through to warm my vocals up and all that kind of stuff. But it's as long as I'm concentrating and not over pushing things, it's been fine. I haven't seen any problems so far.
Since you have done various kind of vocals, from scream ones to clean normal ones, then once again some different kind of vocals, etc.
Right.
So the changing of vocals on the scene, actually at the stage, is it hard?
I've coined myself as a hybrid vocalist. So with the previous band I was in, Into Eternity, I was switching back and forth. Even from more aggressive vocals to clean vocals. So I've trained my voice how to deal with that. If I can't hear myself, I learn how to feel the vocal from my head tone to my chest tone. And it's certain nights maybe it's a little more challenging. Of course, it's maybe a little more challenging certain nights, but all in all, I've trained my voice how to transition from these different styles.
Mm-hmm. Okay, since Dystopia is the latest record, actual record of Ice Dirt, please, can you say some words and give us some info about the record from your own?
Well, this record, the record isn't a concept album, I would have to say, because there's songs that stray away from the dystopian theme, like End of Innocence, Anguish of Youth, Boiling Point, that kind of stuff. Those are just sort of different subject matters. But we're living in a very we're living in a very uncertain times right now, politically, financially, socially, technology-wise, and everything like that. Sometimes I think we feel as though we're prisoners in our own cities to our politicians. By being taxed so much and having to work harder and harder every day just to make ends meet. Even for the technologies that are out, we're so infatuated by the new iPhone and we have to have it, and the new video games and all these types of things that keep us almost brainwashed, in a sense. So I think that this album brings out this certain aspect. Now, John and I, we love movies, so we wrote about some of these dystopian movies, and we sort of made it our own, like V for Vendetta, which is V on the album, and of course Soylent Green, Equilibrium, Dark City, all of these different things, they're very dystopian. I think it's something that everybody nowadays especially can relate to. They can relate to this. When they read the lyrics, they can relate to it. And of course, even the songs that aren't dystopian, like Anguish of Youth, it's about a girl that is thinking of taking her own life, and maybe she decides not to because it's going to hurt the people around her. I wrote a song for my mother who's currently battling cancer, and I know there's a lot of people out there that have loved ones that are battling cancer right now, and my heart goes out to you. And it's a sad time. There's a boiling point. There's men and women out there that are at the end of their rope. They feel as though this is the end, and they just want to lash out, and it's the boiling point of their life, and they want to let that rage out. This album has so many different colors to it, vocally, musically, and information-wise, I think. And I think that's why a lot of fans can relate to it, and I'm very proud of this record. John and I are already thinking of ideas for the next record, so we have to keep that machine going. So that's how I feel about the record, and I think that the people, when I talk to them every day, they always find something in the record that can deal with themselves, and I think that's a special thing. Yeah.
So could we say at the end of the day that, for instance, this album, when it comes to lyrical bass, lyrical topics, is very influenced by everyday life, but also from some movies, especially?
Sure, yeah, of course. Everyday life and movies, however you want to take it.
It's a kind of mixture.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a mixture. But even the movie songs, John and I wrote them in such a way that it wasn't, that even if they know it's a part of a movie, they can still read almost in between the lines. They can, if you're aware and you're awake of what's going on these days, you'll get it. You'll understand what this is about. So,
was it hard to record these albums? This is your first album with Tides 13, studio, etc.
I wouldn't say it was hard, but it was challenging. I'm always up for a challenge. If anybody knows me, I'm always trying to push my vocals to a new level. I'm always trying to do different things. Psychologically, sometimes it was challenging. Singing the End of Innocence song for my mom I almost broke down a couple of times in the studio because it's very tough, because it's my mother. Singing about, Anthem, singing about people's lives and celebrating their life, is emotional to me. And I think it came out in the record. There were some challenging vocal parts, which was awesome for me because as soon as I took on the challenge, of course you got to do it a couple of times, maybe walk away. There was certain songs that I would go to one day and I would try, you sing, you're just not getting the right take. You have to walk away, and then the next day, it happens, and it comes through. So there were a lot of challenges, but I met those challenges head on, and I think I overcame them.
Do you have any favorite tracks when it comes to dystopia?
Yeah, I really like Anthem. I'm proud of End of Innocence. The title track Dystopia. Those are three of my favorites. But I like it all because it all comes from the heart. So, but those are three that really come out to me. Tragedy and Triumph is a good resolve to the end of the album. Musically it shows maybe the rejoicing of people breaking out of those chains. breaking out of the prison cities, you know, and taking back their lives, that kind of stuff. So I mean, those are some songs that I'm very proud of and that I enjoy.
How did you enter actually in Ice Earth, and when it was?
It was
timeline, when it was time.
Yeah, I mean, geez, it was March, pretty much that I've really entered into the band. I went out and tried out for the band. How it happened was, I was at work one day and I got a call from a Century Media representative, and they had.
Sorry, was there any kind of audition?
Yeah, well, this is what I'm getting to. Yeah, I got a call from the Century saying that Iced Earth was looking for. They were auditioning and they were looking for a new singer. John, I had toured with Iced Earth, within Into Eternity and Iced Earth toured together in 2008. John had actually, I was warming up my vocals one day, and John kind of peeked around the corner and goes, pretty good, you know, and I'm thank you, you know what I mean, that's amazing, thank you. He doesn't like death vocals or anything like that, but he saw there was something there. Then a couple of years later, you know, I get this call, and I got John's phone number. We talked. When I got home from work, I immediately phoned him, and we had a very long conversation. He was looking for someone with spirit, someone with hunger, and he saw that in my eyes in the music videos that I had done with Into Eternity. And he wasn't very sure about the vocals yet, because he didn't know if I could do like the low raspy stuff, and you know, like, he knew I could do the falsetto Halford stuff, but he didn't know if I could do the other stuff. So he sent me a few instrumental tracks to record, and I think it was Pure Evil, Watching Over Me, and Iced Earth.
So the older ones, actually.
Yeah, and then he sent me one new one for me, because he didn't want someone to be a puppet. He didn't want a puppet, he wanted a contributing member. Someone that can write lyrics, someone that can write vocal melodies, someone that can write a chorus. And he knew from Into Eternity that I could write fairly decent choruses. Tim and I, the leader of Into Eternity, had written some stuff together, and I'd written a couple choruses, and Tim has a very good knack for writing catchy choruses, and I learned from him on how to really catch on to that. So he sent me this, and he was very interested. Once I had recorded myself, I sent it to him. I don't have the best studio, so he's got a very nice studio in Indiana. And so he said, listen, I'm going to take a chance with you. I'm going to fly you out. He flew me out to Indiana. I went to his house. We re-recorded a couple of older songs. And right away I could see in his eyes that he's very interested, because he saw that I could do the low raspy stuff, mid-range chest vocal, and then the high stuff. And then we wrote a song together, and that's where it really clicked. We wrote End of Innocence together, and then we wrote Dark City together. And after that, he said he had 4 other really good singers ready to audition. And he just didn't want to do it. He didn't want to audition it, because he said, you know what? I think we've got something here. Let's keep going. If you want the gig, you've got the gig. And I was so happy, you know, I mean, I was floored. And it's turned out to be a very, very good match. We write well together. We're becoming very good friends. And I think it's a very positive thing. And I've proven to him that I have the spirit for the band. And I'm very happy for all the challenges and all the opportunities that are gonna come up.
Could you, for instance, compare your work when it comes to vocals and performing of vocals when it comes to Into Eternity and Ice Earth on the other hand?
How would I compare them? They're very two different vocals.
Yes.
One has death vocals with the clean vocals with the Halford vocals. And of course, Iced Earth doesn't have any death vocals. Replace the death vocals with that Matt Barlow feeling, you know, the rasp and the atmosphere mixed with the other vocals. So I think it's tough to compare them too. But the similarities are, it's all different styles of vocals. The hybrid, you know, vocal style. So I think that's the main the main dominating factor for both of them is that there's different styles of vocals in both bands, but both bands have very, very different ways of approaching it. So.
Okay, let's focus now more on Izert. Do you have any favorite album when it comes to Izert? And if you can pick one, why, for example?
Well, Horror Show for me, because I love cinema, and I love all the characters that they touched on. You know, Wolf, Phantom of the Opera, all those different guys, and I'm really into atmospheric kind of stuff. So I'm really happy. Like I really like Horror Show. I really love Horror Show. I like Dark Saga, Something Wicked, all those albums. But Horror Show is the one, and Burnt Offerings. That's the album that I really got into. Takes you on a journey, you know, a really awesome journey. So really cool.
Okay, and what is your opinion about the first two issues of Izert, of course?
Sorry, the what?
The first two albums.
Oh, I mean, they've got character in both of them. I think they're great. You know, we're doing When the Night Falls, so that's off the very first album. You know, and I'm really happy about that. They've all got great stuff going on there, and I'm into all of the catalog, but I got into it with Burnt Offerings. So
it seems that before you entered actually Izert, you were into Izert's music.
Yes, definitely.
Of course. And when you're now performing some older tracks live, do you have some problems or anything goes perfect?
Yeah, I mean, there's Matt has always been an influence to mine. I've always enjoyed his work as he's such a emotional singer. I really appreciate his stage presence and you know, all that kind of stuff. But I have to do what I do too. You know, I have to bring the Stu Block fingerprint into the band, and that's what I need to focus on.
Mm-hmm. And the final question. When it comes to new album, Dystopian, music-wise, it seems that it's something like a comeback, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Because I could even compare this album with with some other issues when it comes to Izert, for instance. It reminds me of Dark Saga or even Burnt Offerings.
Mm-hmm.
There are also something wicked vibe out there. So, what is your opinion when it comes only to music?
I mean, the focus.
Sorry, definitely, for example, is different from the latest ones.
Sure, yeah, of course. The last two records really had a lot of big choirs and all this kind of stuff, and we wanted to bring it back. We wanted to strip it down and bring it back to the roots of Iced Earth, and we wanted to touch on that. I think we did it. You know, I think we a lot of people are saying that it's one of the best Iced Earth records since you know for a long time. You know, and I'm very flattered. I mean, as a fan, I like all the records, but I think John wanted to just bring it back to the original Iced Earth sound, which is just some pure raw heavy metal, and with catchy choruses. People can sing stuff, and chant along with it. And I think we achieved that. I think what we wanted to do, we achieved, which is bring it back to the roots of Iced Earth.
Well, I would like to thank you for this interview, and
Thank you,
I
man.
wish you all the best.
Thank you, man.
Thanks so much.
Right on.